positive.
Anyway, yeah.
negatives?
So positive, I guess positive, negatives. Yeah. My major positive,
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
That
Great.
guy is fantastic.
And all the characters he played, they were very, to me anyway, in some form or another, they were very likable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very likable, but very
Relatable.
layered.
What else is he in?
He was in.
Was he in the Force? Was he the guy?
Yeah,
in the Force?
he was Poe in the Star Wars.
Yeah, he was Poe in the
Oh,
Star
okay.
Wars movies.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the first one, right?
Right, yeah.
I remember that.
But he was also he was the dad in Dune. He was.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
right.
true.
That's
Good
right.
call. Good call.
I almost said Leonidas. That's not his name.
It was.
but
I can't remember what it is right
But
now.
yeah, he was the dad in that. He's a
Atreus,
yeah.
Atreus,
Oh
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
He's a very good actor.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah,
show
clearly.
it really showed his range in this episode.
Mhm.
With the depth of each character he played, as well as his acting ability. Like he really played some emotional scenes. Like that episode 5, man, was incredible. Like, it was so powerful.
Yeah.
I just kept
So
thinking that there was another person there.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
insane.
That's the other thing too, is 'cause he
Oh.
was acting against himself. So
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
how was he
right,
doing
right,
scenes?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a stand-in. And
Yeah, for some
that
of
kind
it,
of
yeah.
stuff, but like he's
Yeah.
doing both scenes. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah,
by
and like you were
himself.
saying before,
Crazy.
there are some parts where he literally goes from one character to the other
Yeah.
right within that same shot. He just kind of like lowers his head, and
Yeah,
or sometimes didn't even do that.
Right.
Sometimes like the transition from one of these characters to the other,
was immediate. Yeah,
yeah, it was just immediate. It was just
Yeah.
him, and there would be no wigging out, no blinking of the eyes or rolling of the
Yeah.
eyes. It would just he went from one to the other.
Right. I think that was part of like them kind of coming together towards the end.
Mhm.
They were kind of like instantaneously switch.
Yeah.
And like it got a little gimmicky towards the end. Like I was like, I get it. But
Yeah.
like that scene where he's like walking away from his house and he's
Mhm.
like he's crying and then he falls down to his knees and then changes into Steven.
Yeah,
And he's
right
like,
there.
He's like, I don't know where I'm at. And then that like
Mhm.
that was like
that was the best.
that was
yeah,
so that was
transformation.
sad, man. Like
Mm.
that was sad because he wakes up not even knowing what's going on, doesn't
Yeah.
know where he's at. Like everything. I don't know where I'm
Right.
at. This is crazy, mom. Like,
Right.
and then I was like, that's
And you know
effing
that's where
sad.
Mark broke too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
That's where
yeah.
he broke.
Like that was so sad to see him like I don't like going through life like that, being unaware
Mhm.
as Steve. Like, dude, like this is
So
heavy.
in that moment, who did you feel worse for, Mark or Steven, so to speak?
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, that's a tough
'Cause
one.
I feel like, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do want to say Steven, just because that scene was so like ripping.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it really got me. And then like
yeah,
I sympathize with Mark, especially after his brother had died.
yeah, because he's the
This
one
wasn't-
actually like facing it.
Yeah,
Right,
He had to
right, yeah.
protect him,
And the whole
and
point
then-
of
Yeah.
Steven was to not have to deal with the
How to
real.
face it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just the fact that his mom was blaming him. Like,
Yeah.
that's gotta weigh so much. Like
As a kid, yeah.
as a kid,
Yeah.
you're
And he's-
taking all that inside of you.
And
know,
he's already
And then
already
he's already dealing with
the
his
fact that
own
he
grief
that
that
he thinks it was his fault that his brother
or that
died.
his brother's gone.
It doesn't help that his mom is
Yeah,
blaming him.
reinforcing that
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And then-
compounding it.
and on top of that, getting abused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
it's
And dad's not helping.
yeah,
You know?
exactly, yeah,
you don't
exactly,
know. And
yeah,
when I was watching that, obviously, like usually when I see characters like that and like just how emotional it is, I do picture myself like what I would do
Yeah.
in that
Mhm.
situation as a parent
Yeah.
myself, or
Mm.
as if I were a kid.
right.
Like I
right.
always picture myself in a lot of these character
Sure.
shoes, and yeah, it gets like for me, I'm just like, man, I
yeah,
could never.
right, and
but
that,
that situation, I've also never been in that situation. I don't
Yeah.
know how I would react
right,
if
Right.
Well, 'cause
And
I-
I don't think most people would, but I think
Yeah.
yeah,
maybe you
But-
could see it.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean that's a real dissociative disorder, right? That's
Mhm.
a
Yeah,
identity
that's a
disorder.
real-
That's a real thing. That's like a
real
defense
thing.
mechanism for the mind, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Essentially,
yeah.
what happens. And so, for the trauma to be that severe,
Yeah.
for you to go into that type of
Right,
you
right.
know, I guess your defense mode. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. You know, it's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
serious.
I think
yeah.
I think it's part of the reason why I felt the most. If I was going to go like a 55-45 thing, I felt the most for Mark in that situation in the street
Oh yeah,
because
he's one face.
yeah, because that was clearly he couldn't take any more,
yeah,
and that's when Steven had to take over,
Right, and
Because he
then-
was at
yeah. And I'm so glad that there's no resolve there. There's
Hmm.
no redemption. Like it could have been like
where
his
yeah,
mom's last
Yeah.
words were, "I'm sorry I treated you the way I would." You know,
Mhm.
that was my
Yeah,
my
because that's
cross to
how
bear.
life is,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but instead she dies.
And
and he
then
And
it's
never
at
gets to make
yeah, no
that
resolve.
peace
Yeah, no peace or even
if it would have
yeah,
come. Yeah.
yeah, or whatever. No closure at all.
Mhm.
That's life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's
Mhm,
more.
mhm.
That's more. I think not more, but like that feels more real.
Right.
More
No,
more
yeah, definitely,
organic for that
definitely.
to be. And I think I really liked that they focused on like the mental illness there.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of fun throughout the whole show until we get there. It's like the reason behind all this
Mhm.
is not really fun, which is
Right.
which is cool, but also kind of sucks that they dump it all in just one episode. Like
Mhm.
this
yeah,
is
I
yeah,
would like to. I mean, we're not talking negatives, but yeah, I
yeah,
would like to see it. Like I said before, spread
mm,
out a little more.
yeah,
Um, but I get what they were doing, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But if
yeah,
they're trying to make this build up, but
Right.
the build up's a little long. I would
yeah,
Yeah.
like to see this. If we're doing this, I'd like to see it in episode 3. To
yeah.
be honest,
Hmm.
Or
or
at least some more development of that. Like let's
yeah,
lead us there. Like the perfect example is World's End. Like
Okay.
World's
Yeah.
End is like is fun through most of it,
Yeah.
but you see these signs of things not being quite right
hmm
until you get to the end and there's a reveal like, oh man, he was in a mental institution.
Yeah.
Or, for because of his problems or whatever his issues were.
Mhm.
Like for this one, it just kind of sounded like, oh, this is just it's just funny that they switch back and forth and they have different abilities and it's cool and it's exciting and then all of a sudden, boom, it's because of this. Like it would have
Mhm.
been nice to have some signs and some build up to that point, I think.
Did they have that in the beginning though? Like something. I
There
want to
was
say it was referenced. Like there was some foreshadowing in the beginning, but I don't
There I mean,
remember.
there was some there was just some foreshadowing in general in that first
mm,
episode, we put the hippos away, he had these hippo stuffed animals,
Oh,
that was a hint for the god to come up and all that kind of stuff. They sprinkled in quite a bit of that stuff. And it was just little things like, him talking to his mom, but I don't think you really see anything or, Steven think he's, talking to his mom or he's leaving her
yeah.
messages all the time.
yeah,
But
Right, yeah.
you don't really see anything concrete. I suppose you might, just I don't know if you would catch that, you would
Yeah.
see
yeah, and
he's talking to his mom, if sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
no,
if you watch it because I watched the first 5 episodes and then I watched them all again, 1 through 6.
Oh, okay.
Right?
okay,
So, when I went back to watch them again and I see all this stuff happening and I know what's happening,
Hmm.
it makes the show a little bit better. You know what I
I
mean?
see.
When you see him
Yeah.
talking to his mom and you know his mom is on the other end.
Right.
Just little things like that, it makes you, feel more sorry for him and all this kind
Yeah.
of stuff going on. So, I don't think there was too much, like, concrete foreshadowing as far as, like,
Mhm.
what the trauma was or whatever that
Yeah.
caused that. But I feel like you kinda well, I don't wanna say something happened, but typically, yeah, you people have that kind of disorder for
Yeah.
something happened, you know what I mean? I didn't know it went back to childhood or
yeah,
that it
Mhm.
necessarily happened before,
Yeah.
cashew.
Yeah, that's a reference to our last
cashew.
episode. But no, I think I just my thing is that it's a little confusing because of the tone of the show up until that point. Like,
Mm,
no, there's the tone of it's just like, oh, this is just gonna be a fun action Marvel show,
huh.
and
But
then
then
yeah,
I kind of like
so
that
I was gonna say,
though.
yeah, I kinda
I don't see
like
that
it
as a
for
bad
that
thing.
reason just because they
yeah,
did go a little bit,
yeah.
deeper on that
No,
episode
and
of the show.
I see what you're saying. I just that's the issue is why I only like episode 5, and the rest of it was like all right to me. Like it just
Mhm.
kind of average to me.